Hey, I'm Pat. Welcome to Daily Devo. Today we're going to be talking about guarding your heart. So we're jumping into something we're calling the Proverbs Challenge. Some of you have done this before. Some of you have done this recently. What we're asking you to do is read a chapter of Proverbs every day. So whatever day of the month it is, you read that chapter. On the 4th day, like today, we're going to look at chapter 4. On the 10th day, read chapter 10. On the 15th day, read chapter 15. And we're going to walk through this month doing this Proverbs Challenge. By the end of the month, we will have covered the entire book of Proverbs. So today's the 4th. We're going to jump into Proverbs chapter 4. Pay attention, learn, listen, follow, get wisdom, embrace wisdom. Don't forget, don't turn away. Terms like this are used over 20 times in chapter 4, in this short chapter. It's as if Solomon is begging and pleading with us to get wisdom at any cost and to hang on to it at any cost. Why? Why is he so passionate about this idea? Why is he so insistent that he repeats himself over 20 times about listening and learning and embracing wisdom? Because, as he says in verse 19, he says, "But the way of the wicked is like total darkness. They have no idea what they are stumbling over." Draw a little line from verse 19 to verse 22 to verse 22. And he's talking about wisdom. And verse 19 was talking about them stumbling around in darkness. And then verse 22, he says, "For they, wisdom, bring life to those who find them and healing to their whole body." Solomon is juxtaposing a life of stumbling around in the dark, making stupid decision after stupid decision, with a life of someone who is not perfect, but consistently making wise decisions. Now, verse 23 is the key verse in this chapter. It reads, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." One translation says, "Above all else, guard your heart." Another one says, "Keep vigilant watch over your heart." So what does this mean? And why should we do this? Perhaps you've heard the story of the old Cherokee teaching his grandson about life. He tells the young boy, "There's a fight going on inside me. It's a terrible fight, and it's between two wolves. One is evil. He's anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, pride, superiority, ego." He continued, "The other is good. He's joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, faith." And then he tells the boy, the same fight is going on inside of you and inside of every person. Well, the grandson thought about it for a minute, and then he asked his grandfather, "Which wolf is going to win?" And the old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." That's what Solomon is telling us. Guarding our heart means you and I are nurturing the good and starving the bad. Guarding our heart means we're nurturing the good and starving the bad. We feed those things in our life that lead to joy, peace, love, hope, goodness, kindness. And we starve those things that lead to bitterness, anger, self-pity, gossip, and slander. Why? Why do we do this? Well, look how Solomon finishes that verse. In verse 23, he says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." Today, you and I will have numerous opportunities regarding what we fill our hearts and minds with. And the question is, which wolf will you feed today? Above all else, guard your heart.